Hello, princesses, princes, and all future monarchs. It's Princess Belle. I'm so excited you decided to visit me with your magic mirrors. Today I'd like to tell you all a story, my story. Perhaps you know it. Would you like to get started? That's great. All right. Well, we must start the story like all the best stories do. Do you know the words? There are 4 of them. Ready? Once upon a time, a young prince lived in a shining castle. One cold night, a beggar woman arrived, offering him a single rose if he would let her take shelter from the cold. But because of her ugliness, he turned her away. Suddenly, she was changed into a beautiful enchantress. To punish the prince for his selfishness, she turned him into a terrible, ugly beast. Then she gave him a magic mirror and the rose, telling him that it would bloom until his 21st year. To break the spell, he must love another and earn that person's love in return before the last petal fell, or he would remain a beast for all time. In a small village nearby, a beautiful woman named Belle, that's me, hurried through town. I greeted the people as I rushed to my favorite shop, the bookstore. The owner gave me a book as a gift. A dreamy look crossed my face. It's my favorite. Daring sword fights, magic spells, a prince in disguise. Oh, thank you very much. I rushed outside, reading as I walked. As I walked, a handsome hunter named Gaston ran after me. Belle, the whole town is talking about you. It's not right for a woman to read. It's about time you got your nose out of those books and paid attention to more important things, like me. I tried to get away without being rude, but Gaston's friend LeFou joined us and began to insult Maurice, my father, who was an inventor. My father's not crazy, he's a genius. As I spoke, an explosion boomed from my father's house, so I started to run. What do you think caused the explosion? At the house, I found my father and told him what the villagers were saying about me. They think I'm strange, Papa. Don't worry, Belle. My invention's going to change everything for us. We won't have to live in this little town forever. My father got up onto his horse, named Philippe, and set off for the fair with his new invention. I waved. Goodbye! Good luck! Do you think he's going to make it to the invention fair? Let's find out. But soon the horse was lost in a dark, misty forest. As Maurice paused to look around, he saw yellow eyes staring out of the darkness. What do you think it is? It was a wolf! The horse jumped up and ran away. Terrified, Maurice ran through the forest with the wolves behind him. When he reached a tall, heavy gate, he dashed inside, slamming the gate on the wolf, whose sharp teeth snapped at his leg. Still trembling, Maurice turned to see a huge, grand castle. Hello? I've lost my horse and I need a place to stay for the night. Who do you think the castle belongs to? Of course, sir. You are welcome here. Maurice turned around. He could see no one. He looked down and saw a big wall clock with a cold, frowning face. Beside him was a smiling candelabra. Maurice grabbed the clock and examined it. This is impossible. Why, you're alive! The enchantress had turned all of the prince's servants into household objects. As the wall clock protested, the candelabra led Maurice into the sitting room. There he met a friendly teapot named Mrs. Potts and her son, a cute little teacup named Chip. Suddenly the door opened. A voice boomed. There is a stranger here. Who do you think it is? Maurice jumped out of his chair. In the shadow was a large, ugly figure. Please, I need a place to stay. I'll give you a place to stay. The beast grabbed Maurice and pulled him out of the room. Oh no, the beast took my father. Back at home, I heard a knock on the door and opened it. Gaston! What a pleasant surprise! Belle, every girl in town would love to be in your shoes. Do you know why? Do you know why? Because I want to marry you. Gaston, I replied. I don't know what to say. I'm sorry, but I just don't deserve you. As Gaston was leaving, I kicked him out. He tripped and fell in the mud. When I looked out, I saw that all the villagers had come together, hoping to see a wedding. The priest and all of Gaston's friends saw him lose face. After the villagers and an angry Gaston left, I ran outside to feed the chickens. That's where I found Philippe, my father's horse, alone. Philippe, what are you doing here? Where's Papa? Do you remember where my father is? The horse made some light sounds. Frightened, I jumped onto the back and returned to the mysterious forest. Soon we found the castle. What is this place? Then I saw my father's hat on the ground. I hurried inside the gloomy castle and wandered down the wide and empty corridors. Papa? Are you here? It's Belle! No one replied, but I didn't know that the enchanted things had seen me. With joy, the candelabra danced around the wall clock. Don't you see? She is the one. She has come to break the spell. Without noticing them, I continued to search for my father. Where do you think they brought him? Finally, I discovered my father locked in a tower. Papa, we must get you out of there. Suddenly, I heard a voice from the shadows. I gasped. Please let my father go. Take me instead. You would take his place? I asked the voice to come into the light. I was horrified when I saw the huge, ugly beast. To save my father, I agreed to stay in the beast's castle forever. The beast pulled my father out of the castle and threw him into a carriage that would take him back to his home in our town. There he entered a tavern where he saw Gaston surrounded by his friends. Please, I need your help. A horrible beast has locked Belle in a dungeon. Does it have cruel, sharp teeth? One villager joked. My father grabbed the man's coat. Yes, will you help me? We'll help you, old man. Gaston and his pals threw my father out. But Maurice's story gave Gaston an idea. Oh no, what do you think his idea is? Back at the castle, I nervously followed the beast upstairs. He paused for a moment. The castle will be your home now, so you can go anywhere you like, except the West Wing. I stared back. What's in the West Wing? Do you know what's in the West Wing? The beast said, You must not go there. It's forbidden. The beast opened the door to my room. You will join me for dinner. That's not a request. After the beast left, I threw myself onto the bed. I'll never escape this prison or see my father again. That night, I refused to eat with the beast. Instead, I crept downstairs to the kitchen. All of the enchanted household objects gave me food and entertained me. Do you know how they entertained me? Do you remember the song, Be Our Guest? Oh, it's such a beautiful song, and they did such a beautiful performance for me. The wall clock agreed to take me on a tour. I stopped beneath the staircase. What's up there? Nothing. Absolutely nothing of interest in the West Wing. Cogsworth, the wall clock responded. But when he wasn't looking, I slipped away and ran up the staircase to a long hallway lined with broken mirrors. I slowly and carefully opened the door and entered a dark and dirty room. On the floor was broken furniture, torn curtains, and gray, broken bones. The only living thing was a rose, shining from under a glass bowl. Enchanted, I lifted the cover and touched one soft pink petal. But I didn't hear the beast enter the room. I warned you never to come here, the beast walked towards me. Get out, he screamed. I was terrified. I turned and ran. I rushed past the wall clock and the candelabra, and I fled the castle. Promise or no promise, I can't stay here another minute. I found Philippe, my horse, and we galloped through the snow until we met a pack of angry, hungry wolves. What do you think will happen? Terrified, my horse stood up and I fell to the ground. When I tried to defend my horse, the wolves attacked me. Suddenly, a large paw pulled the animals away from me. Who do you think saved me? It was the beast. As I tried to get to my feet, the wolves turned and attacked the beast. When the fight ended, the surprised wolves ran away and the beast collapsed, wounded. I knew that this was my chance to escape, but when I looked at the fallen beast, I couldn't leave him. Here, lean against Philippe. I'll help you get back to the castle. Meanwhile, in the town, Gaston and LeFou were plotting to have my father put in a madhouse unless I agreed to marry Gaston. I will never agree to marry Gaston. Back at the castle, I cleaned the beast's wounds and thanked him for saving my life. Later, I was quite surprised when he showed me this beautiful library. I can't believe it! I've never seen so many books in my life! The beast smiled for the first time. Then it's yours. He gave me an entire library. It was so sweet. That evening, Mrs. Potts and the other objects watched as I read a story to the beast. They were filled with hope that the beast and I would fall in love. Gradually, the mood in the castle began to change. Me and the beast read together, ate together, and played together in the snow. I love snow. Do you love snow as much as I do? We even had a snowball fight. When I watched the big, funny-looking beast try to feed some birds, I realized that he was really very kind and gentle, something that I hadn't seen in him before. In turn, the beast started to hope that I would begin to care for him. Do you think I was starting to care for him? He tidied his room, bathed, and dressed up for the evening. He was overjoyed when I taught him how to dance. That evening, the beast asked me if I was happy. Yes, I said. I only wish I could see my father. I miss him so much. There is a way. The beast showed me the magic mirror. In it I saw my father lost in the woods, sick from his search for me. When the beast saw that I was unhappy, he decided to let me go even if it meant he could never be human again. Before I left, he gave me the magic mirror. Take it with you so you'll always have a way to look back and remember me. Heartbroken, the beast watched as I climbed on Philippe and rode away. When I found my poor father in the forest, I took him to our cottage so I could nurse him back to health. What do you think will happen next? But as soon as we arrived, a tall, thin man knocked on the door. It was Mr. Dark. He had come to take my father away to his madhouse. LeFou had convinced the villagers that my father was crazy because he was always talking about some terrible beast. No, I won't let you, I blocked the way. Gaston put his arm around me. I can clear up this little misunderstanding. If you marry me, just say yes. I couldn't do that, so instead I used the magic mirror to show them the beast. He's not ugly and cruel, he's really kind and gentle. Enraged, Gaston shouted, "She's as crazy as the old man! I say we kill the beast!" The mob of villagers went to the castle and locked me and my father in our cellar and looked for the beast. As the villagers fought the enchanted things, Gaston forced the beast up onto the castle roof. He beat the beast, who didn't even try to resist. "Get up, or are you too kind and gentle to fight back?" In the meantime, Chip was with us, and he helped me and my father escape the cellar. When the beast saw me return, he grabbed Gaston by the throat. But his love for me had made him too human. He let Gaston go and looked at me. What do you think will happen next? But without warning, Gaston stabbed the beast in the back. The beast roared, and Gaston stepped back and fell off the roof to his demise. Wounded, the beast gazed at me before he collapsed. I ran to him and held him in my arms. "No, please don't go. I love you." The rain began to fall gently. Slowly, the beast opened his eyes, and in astonishment, he watched his paws change into hands. He held them out to me. "Belle, It's me. I hesitated and then looked into his eyes. It is you. The prince drew me close and kissed me. Then we watched happily as Cogsworth the wall clock and Lumiere the candelabra, Chip, Mrs. Potts, and all the other servants once again became human. True love had finally broken the spell, and everyone danced for joy. And we lived happily ever after. The end. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope you liked it. Now, before I return this mirror to my Prince Adam, I thought maybe we could sing a song together. Does that sound fun? Oh, I'm so glad. And now, we curtsy or bow. Now it's time for me to return my magic mirror back to Prince Adam. But I'd just like to say I so enjoyed singing and storytelling with you today, and I hope I get to see you again soon. Goodbye, everyone!